Hey there, friends, and welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. Today, during this crazy pandemic time, I want to talk to you about, I want to call it a hot button topic or something that's been coming up a lot with my retailers. And that is the statement, I guess, that this pandemic and how we do business through and beyond through the post-pandemic time is really going to separate those that are hobbyists versus those that are running real businesses. And that has caused a lot of a lot of hot button, a lot of comments, a lot of feedback, a lot of questions. And it's not meaning that creatives aren't business owners. The hobbyist side of it means those that have been kind of winging it. It really comes down to those that are committed through the business process and becoming really strong business owners versus those that have been kind of just drifting, which many people are, myself included, way back in the day. That I wasn't committed. I would consider myself a hobbyist at the early stages of my business. And I see retailers all the time, and that's retail industry experts saying this, that really, if we're not committed to learning our numbers and dealing with supply issues and planning for the recession that's coming, if we're not committed to doing the work, the foundational work, we might be in trouble if it's not something that you're willing to do. We can't wing it or drift anymore. Now is the time to be planning, preparing, putting that CEO hat on that I'm always talking about, because business is not going to be the same on the other side for most of us. Everybody, retail industry experts are saying things are just going to be different on the other side of this. The way we do business, how we do business, and knowing and being confident in your business practices is going to be key through this. So, my question today is, are you committed or are you just attached to your business? And it's not a bad thing, but it's a thing that we have to sort of bring to the surface and talk about. So, go grab a coffee. Let's chat about the differences between being committed and being attached. I also want to let you know that my business course, The Success Path for the Creative Shop Owner, is opening now because I've had so many retailers reaching out and asking me, they say they are committed and they are needing help. They are realizing that this is the time to make those big changes. So we had no intention of opening the course this month, but of course, as everybody else, we're pivoting, we're shifting, we're serving. We want to be there for our retailers. So again, go grab a coffee. Let's have a little chat about this. Running a creative retail business really shouldn't be so hard. I'm Wendy Batten, and this is the Creative Shop Talk podcast. Okay, my friends. So listen, all of us want a beautiful business. That is why we got into our stores. We opened our businesses for lots of different reasons, but for the majority of the retailers and the creatives that I work with, we want to earn more than a living. We really want to create a beautiful life, right? Doing what we love, being creative, serving customers. We want that beautiful store. And that is a beautiful thing, but we also are running a business. We need to make profits with this business. And through this crazy pandemic time, which is, I don't know what other thing to call it than crazy. It's been really a hard time for many. I'm seeing and speaking to a lot of retailers right now that are more attached than they are committed. And it's not a bad thing. It's not a terrible thing, but this is where I really think it's important to have that conversation. So I have a client that I work with one on one, and we were talking about going through this pandemic time, so serving now, and how she's planning on the other side. She's been a client for a long time, and we came down to this question of, and I said, you really need to dig into your profit and loss, and we really need to talk about, make some plans on the other side. And she said, I really don't want to learn my numbers, Wendy. I really don't want to do all this stuff. I don't want to do it. And I get it. I understand. And this business that she started did start as a hobby turned business, an accidental entrepreneur, like many people. But her why for doing it um, was because it just sort of happened. It just sort of organically grew. And from a hobby to the store, she opened her business, and it's been lovely. It's been fine. But she's not ready to do the work that it takes. And I'm not mentioning her name, but I have her permission to share this story. She said, Wendy, people need to think about this. Like, she wasn't ready to do all of the hard things, the strategic planning. She wasn't ready to look into time management. She wasn't really interested in, and not in a negative, bad way, but it was just a lot of work to do jump through all of the hoops that she needed to right now to stay in business, to open an e-commerce site, to do all the things. And she said, but I love my business. So we've been working with her on a plan to make it look different. It's not going to be so much of a retail business anymore. She does not want to do the hard things. She's been drifting, for lack of a better word, even though we've been planning and doing some work together. She's really not, she's really just been not wanting to do all the things. And that's okay. It's totally okay. But we defined the difference for her between being attached and being committed to really seeing this through and what her why was and what she really wanted from her business. Can you answer that question? It's a really good question if you're trying to figure out, am I attached to this thing that I have built and I'm doing? Or am I committed? The question really is, what is my why? Why am I doing this? What is the purpose of this? Does this still light me up? Am I deep down in my core ready for this to succeed and be a beautiful business, moving forward and moving through this pandemic? So it's okay to love your business and love on your business and be super attached to it, but understand the difference between committed and attached. So again, right down to your core. Are you committed to this? What do you really truly want from this? Are you prepared to jump through the hoops and do all the things and step outside of your comfort zone, which is something that is happening every day? I'm having to, we have to put our CEO hat on, and we have to just keep showing up in pivoting and doing the hard things. Hands up out there if you're listening. Just shout out, hands up, or that's me, because I'm seeing retailers just really stepping into new roles, learning new things every day, planning through and for the future of their businesses. So it's really hard to admit that maybe you need some help through this. It's really hard to identify, the things that you need to do and how you need to show up for your business. But we can't drift anymore. We can't wing it. And this is coming from somebody who did that early in my days. I first started, and I shared that in my story. One of the first podcasts, I think podcast episode number 1, I shared the story of, how I was drifting and not planning, and how it's come full circle now that I coach people who do that. But, and it's not a bad thing, and it's not a failure, and it's not a negative thing. If you kind of answer those questions, it is a good thing to be able to sit down and really ask yourself the hard questions. This is a good time to do it. You don't want to be caught up in a, I don't know, in a situation where you just keep doing it and resenting your business maybe, or not wanting to do the work, and in a negative financial place with your business moving forward. So again, every day I keep seeing these. I work with retailers who are doing just amazing things, but it's not easy for anybody. Everybody is digging deep right now. Everybody's showing up to the best of their ability. It's not sexy, it's not fun. This is not the glamour side of running a business that any of us signed up for, but it's a reality of running a business. There is no small business owner right now that's just like breezing through this. There are lots of retailers, though, doing amazing things. I am seeing some committed retailers in my groups, in my coaching groups, in my mastermind group. I'm thinking of Jeff Lee from the Vintage Nest. He's so committed to his business. He's been working so hard at pivoting and shifting. And Jeff's really good at collaborating with his local He's taken it upon himself to collaborate with local merchants in his downtown area. They've been getting advertising and working together. He's been really digesting to what his customers' needs are and serving them in the way they need to be served. Is this easy for Jeff? No, he is probably working long days. The shop, he has a beautiful shop, and I do know that he's mentioned a few times that the shop is a mess now, trying to just shift everything, throw everything online, build an e-commerce site, do all these hard things, but he's committed to see the growth of his business. I think of Wendy from We Joe. She's been diving deep into her numbers. She was working on this sort of before the pandemic, and she just said the other day, I'm seeing that knowing my numbers is making a difference as I move forward through this. She knows what to concentrate on. She's budgeting. She's seeing the margins. She's knowing what to move, and she's understanding where she needs to push for her promotions in her markets. I think of Melissa from Sentimental Salvage, and a incredibly committed person to her business. She's from a town of like under 400 people or around 400 people, super small, tiny town. And she just hit a big financial goal, revenue and sales goals, because she's been pivoting and shifting and adjusting. She was committed to making this work. When her foot traffic, which she does have in her beautiful little store and her DIY and workshops, when that started to change, and when the pandemic first hit, she concentrated a lot of her effort into creating online tutorials and shifting and getting uncomfortable. Being committed means we have to be uncomfortable a lot of the time, right? She's doing Facebook live sales and changing, and all of the different things that she's had to do, and it's working. She's creating a beautiful life that she wanted. I think of Amy Check from Schoolhouse Salvage, who is again committed to the growth of her business. She's been putting all the foundational work, and she has her CEO hat firmly on. She's been working with systems, she's been working with tools, she's been working with her team. She's been streamlining. She knows her numbers inside and out. She's budgeting, doing strategic planning. Is this fun? Is this easy? No. She has her kids and everybody in this right now. It's not easy for anybody, but that CEO hat is on, and she's moving through, and she's committed to having a thriving business on the other side. She's been building her foundations with tools that we provide inside the Success Path course to move through this again, it's not easy, but she knows what to do and what steps to take. So she's been moving through and quite successfully too. I think of Stacy from Better Than Ever. So Stacy has a DIY studio. Well, all of a sudden, like many of you, there's nobody to come into the DIY studio, right? She's also homeschooling, her children, and like lots of you are doing, and all these added pressures. And she was just in the process of hoping to expand and build a new building, and she had new product lines coming in, and boom, pandemic hits, right? What do we do? Well, she has the tools to focus on what's going to work. She's got to action, took the tools that she's learned, coaching with me and doing the Success Path course, the systems in place, the time management tools, working on what's important now. Is it easy again for her? Absolutely not. I don't think anybody's finding this easy, but it's working, pushing through, thriving and surviving through this pandemic, and thriving on the other side is super important. And I could go on. I have like a whole list here, and I'm seeing retailers pivot. I'm seeing them shift. I'm seeing them adapt, and I'm seeing them work on their business, the business foundations, using marketing and promotions and strategies that they're putting in place, that they're taking time to, again, go to their core and do the hard things and step out of the uncomfortable. It's not ever easy being a retailer, but working harder and working and being busy is not the answer. It's working strategically and having the solid foundations to run your creative business. We are going to be okay if we have a strong foundation. Retail forecasts are that A, during a recession, and B, right now during this pandemic and all of the things that are coming out of it, people are seeking businesses like ours, the small independent businesses that have been catering to them. They love community. They are gathering towards us. They are looking for our DIY products. They are looking for our ideas. We understand our customers. They are responding. That have built communities are doing, if they can. I know so many people, your hands are tied and you aren't unable to do things right now. But if you're not open or working, you can still keep your community building, right? So there's lots of things that we can do as creative shop owners to be positive through this crazy time. I need to come up with an acronym for this because it is a crazy time, right? But I want you to come back to asking yourself, are you attached to this business and not so sure about pushing through? And that's okay. Or are you super committed to seeing this through and seeing your business thrive? And is your answer heck yeah? Like if it's a heck yeah, let's do this. You are committed to your business, and that might mean shifting and even the core principles or the revenue streams that you're doing or how you're doing business. That's okay. That's called strategic planning. That's okay. It doesn't mean that you're throwing the whole thing away. You can be committed and make changes. And this is actually a very good time. And I'm seeing lots of retailers making changes. But I do want you to figure out if you're committed or you're attached. Attached also means you're forcing a lot of things, right? You're forcing yourself. I mean, that's not the same as like getting uncomfortable, but you're just forcing this all the time and you're really not so sure that this is what you want. And again, if your answer is, heck yeah, I want this, and tell me what I have to do, Wendy, because that is what I've been getting a lot of emails and texts and Instagram posts. I'm getting tons of tell me what I need to do right now. So my that's your answer. Heck yeah, you are committed. And I am hoping that you will be comfortable and know the steps that you need to do and be driven and encouraged that there's going to be a bright light on the other side of this. There's going to be another side of this. And it's just a matter of we can't wing it anymore. We're just going to have to put a little more work into it, but that's okay, with plans, with strategic moves, with good, solid marketing advice, with the right products, with the right plans in place, we can do this. We'll get it done. So I truly want you to have the business that you love. I really do. And I would love to invite you, if you are looking for help, foundational help. Again, if you're looking to put that CEO hat on and wondering, what does that even really mean? How do I become the CEO? And I don't mean like a Tesla driving, whiz bang, crazy corporate person. What I mean is sitting in the chair as the CEO and making strategic decisions about your business. And that's one of the things that we cover inside the Success Path for Creative Shop Owners. We also have an entire module talking about the financial things from me as a retailer to you. I am not going to teach you all of the financial ins and outs, but I am going to give you the confidence to be able to understand your numbers, understand the questions to ask your accountant or bookkeeper, understand why it's important, and sort of get over that fear of knowing the nitty gritties of the numbers. Being able to dial in your numbers is going to be a lifesaver on the other side of this. It's going to be, I promise you, you're like just switching your margins up 1% and moving things around just a little tiny bit. It's going to make the difference on your profit at the end of the year and what's in your pocket. We have an entire week that we talk about. It's a 4-week course. We have an entire week that we talk about marketing and promotions of your business and how we are marketing and promoting. It's not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's not just more foot traffic. It is not more foot traffic. It is targeting the right revenue streams and target marketing. And marketing is not just Facebook, my friends. It's not just social media. There's a whole lot of other things that go into marketing as well, too. And then we talk about systems. We have an entire week talking about systems and time management and how to end that overwhelm that you might be feeling as a small business owner and doing all the things and juggling all the balls. If that's you, if it's just a lot of things, the Success Path for Creative Shop Owners might be just what you need to level out that and give you the confidence to move your commitment through to the other side. So it is a 4-week course. We also have a bonus module that we have created just for this pandemic time, all about the things that you should be considering or you could be considering as you open up, plans to open up your store, and if you are open, just how we can market and work through to the other side. That's just a bonus module we've done for this particular opening because it is top of mind and it is super important that we are prepared. So our doors are open until May 7th. So that's Thursday, May 7th. And the course starts on May 11th. And you don't have to show up all the time. You have me for a month as a coach. I'm there for a month. That's how we do the success path for creative shop owners. But you have the course for life. And I'm going to link, I'll link in the show notes how you can register and find out more information. You can email me anytime as well too. I am committed to helping retailers who are committed to their business. And if I can't help you, I will help you find somebody who can help you. I am, again, 100% committed to seeing retailers thrive through this hard time and thrive on the other side and be one of those retailers who are, not just the hobbyist, but wearing their CEO hat firmly, smiling, creating a beautiful life while they run their business. So thanks for joining me today. I encourage you to ask yourself again, are you committed or are you attached to your business? And if you have any questions or you're want to talk further about it, let's talk about it. We will continue this conversation inside my free Facebook group called the Rockstar Creatives. So I hope to see you inside the Success Path for Creative Shop Owners. And again, if you have any questions whatsoever, please let me know. So thanks for listening. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I know how precious your time is, and I'm so appreciate you taking time out of your crazy day to be here with us. All the links for today's show can be found at wendybatten.com/podcast. We'd also like to invite you to come over and continue the conversation over on my free Facebook group. It's called Rockstar Creatives. I'm going to be popping in there live every week to continue the conversation, talk a little bit about what we spoke about today. And I'd love for you to join us over there, Rockstar Creatives on Facebook. I'd also love to ask, if it's not too much trouble, if you could leave me a review and let me know what you think of the podcast. If you're loving the show, be sure that you're subscribing to the podcast so you don't miss an episode. I'd hate for you to miss one. It's been such a pleasure to be here with you today. I'll see you next week here on the Creative Shop Talk podcast.